I'm looking at this new fad of the nasal piercings, the septum ones.
Piercings, like a cow thing.
And I feel like your chapter needs to be updated to include that if it doesn't already.
Because it's tattoos and piercings.
Okay. Yeah. But are all piercings equal?
No, like earrings are totally fine. They've been around forever, right? But like, when you have like a bullet run of like earrings going all the way down, septum piercings, eyebrow piercings, nipple, belly button, clitoris, and they kind of go like right down the list. Like this chick clearly likes to mutilate her body, right? And like somebody like that it usually comes with damage. So I'll give you a really clear example. I was talking to a very good friend of mine that's an ER doctor. He runs 7 clinics down in the southern part of the States. And, he was telling me one time, the vast majority of women that come in for STD tests are covered in tattoos and piercings. So there's a clear demonstration of the association between tattoos, piercings, promiscuity, and STDs.
That's really interesting. You say that women are not always a gold digger, but at some level, they all have a skew towards hypergamy. But then too often men will take their foot off the gas, get lazy in the relationship, get lazy physically. And then the woman's like, what the heck's going on here? Or she might then increase her value somehow. Maybe she starts earning more money, or her perceived value is what I should say there. So somehow the value goes up or down. And now there's this gap there to counteract this hypergamy, if it's even true. Guys, you need to always continue to level up and be her best option. And that doesn't mean you have to beat every other man out there, but you need to always continue to level up your game, and that you do always have competition. And I get pushback about the fact that, wait a minute, I'm married. I shouldn't have competition. Where's her loyalty? And I'm like, wrong. Once again, we're living in reality here. This woman can go get laid today. I don't care if she's a 6. There's going to be some man out there. Your best friend's probably going to want to screw your wife. So for a guy to think that he doesn't need to continue to level up and that he doesn't have competition is misguided. Do you agree?
Yeah, the vast majority of what you said there, I certainly agree with. So the guys that are like, where is her loyalty? Dude, just because you get married doesn't mean that you can go broke, not hold down a job, sit around watching sports 5 days a week with Cheeto dust all over your body and you get fat. Hypergamy means that you're her best option. Okay. If you no longer remain her best option 5 years into the marriage because you just suck at life, you stop chasing excellence, you get lazy, you get fat, you're incompetent. That is certainly a precursor to a divorce. A leading indicator of divorce is contempt. So if a woman expresses contempt for you, i.e., Bill, all you do is sit around all week long watching sports, drinking beer, getting fat. The lawn looks like crap. Why aren't you taking the kids out to their extracurriculars? That's a legitimate grievance, okay? And her expressing contempt for that behavior is her basically saying, look, bud, if you don't square your shit away, we're going to get divorced, okay? She's not overtly rubbing it in your face or saying it, but don't be surprised if she starts banging Kevin from sales at the office, right? You have an obligation as a man to continue to chase excellence. As a guy, you have a burden of performance to do the work on yourself, to become a better version. Like, you can't get lazy.
Right.
As a guy, you can't get lazy. Women can get fat. They can get lazy. They can get fat. There's no consequences for that, at all. I mean, guys will stay in that marriage out of a sense of duty. A lot of men do. But for guys, the same isn't true. And that's just the way that life is. I'm sorry for the guys that think like that's not fair or blah, 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 or whatever. It's like, she should just love me for who I am. Sorry, man. Like, that's just not the way that women work. And, you've been lied to if you believe that. So you need to update your beliefs and understand that you have an obligation of a man to be a man and do things that men do, which is be somebody that a woman can look up to, that she can admire, that she can brag about to her friends. That has the ability to improve the lives of her and the family. Like I said earlier, only women, children, and dogs are loved unconditionally. Men are only loved under the condition that they're providing something of value. Men need to provide value in the relationship. Women don't.
Where I'm pausing on this is saying women don't have to provide value.
Women aren't expected to be the breadwinners in a relationship. Women aren't expected to fight off the bad guy that breaks in your house and wants to harm your family and steal your shit. These are the kinds of burdens of performance that are on men's shoulder. Women are kind of expected to be soft, be loving, turn your house into a home, to feed your family, to nurture it properly, to support the guy, sort of thing. Women have a different set of obligations, but the type of obligations that we're talking about that men need to fulfill, there's no expectation of it. Women do try though. Like one of the grave mistakes that I see women make today is they go out there and they become a boss girl, like hashtag boss girl or a baddie or whatever you want to call it. And they'll climb the corporate ladder, they'll get degrees, they'll put off having children, travel the world, make lots of money. And they sit around talking to the girlfriends wondering, well, why can't I find a good man? Like I'm a successful woman. Like, look at me, I'm so beautiful and I've done all this shit in my life. And it's like, there's no guy that has ever gotten up in the morning and said, oh, I want a successful woman. They want a pleasant, agreeable, feminine beauty that hasn't been promiscuous and shared her body with a lot of men, that wants to be with that guy and is very selective about her time with it. So, the way that men and women need to behave and look at each other needs to change dramatically. Men and women want better results. Like women got to stop acting like men. Like trying to sell guys the virtues of your success and your degrees. Guys don't look at degrees on the wall and go, oh, that's a sexy degree. It's framed in mahogany with little letters after the name. And that's just beautiful. And it just turns me on. Guys don't do that. They're looking at her butt in a set of yoga pants, right?
Right.
That's how guys are. Women are beauty objects to men. Men, on the other hand, are success objects to women.
In order for relationships to be truly successful, the woman has to love the man more than the man loves her. What I'm seeing is the opposite, where the guy, there's a reversal there. The guy loves her more.
Puts her up on a pedestal.
Adores her more, puts her on the pedestal. What's the incentive for women to act right and to be kind and treat the man the way he should be treated? And that's because she's afraid to lose him. There's no other reason for her to act in a way that he would like to see. So in order for that to happen long term, is she has to just think that he is the shit. Like he has to be so awesome in her eyes. And this is just not what we're seeing. So I think this is like the crux of it all, is that maybe the guys are in a relationship where he loves her more. And this is why they're having problems.
If you treat her like a celebrity, she will treat you like a fan. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And these guys just put themselves continuously in this position, like happy wife, happy life. Like that is the most bullshit line that guys can ever recite. Or,
it's awful.
if they're with their friends and they say, oh, well, I have to check with the boss or something like that. Right. It's like, how much of a pathetic loser have you put yourself into where you're in a situation where you got to check with the boss sort of thing? Or they have a man cave. Like that's another example of a man that's absolutely lost frame in the relationship.
Oh, come on, Rich. I'm pushing back on the man cave thing.
No, man caves are for losers. That's a hill that I'll die on. There's absolutely no guy that I know that has frame in a relationship that has a man cave. The house is his man cave. Any guy that's forced to put his cool stuff in one corner of the house that she just lets him have, quote unquote, is a loser.
You want us to make it a home, but then aren't you kind of contradicting yourself there when you're saying a woman's job is to make it a home, but then you're saying that a man cave is not? I don't know. I think there's a discrepancy there.
No, there isn't, because guys will hand over the reins to the household to the woman. Making a house a home is different. It's different though. But what most guys will do is they'll say, whatever you want. You want this renovated, you want that look like that, you want these curtains, you want that crystal chandelier over there, no problem. They just stamp everything yes, 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 yes. And a woman needs to hear the word no and understand that it's a firm boundary and there's no pushback, and his word is a final word. All right, guys, I really hope that you enjoyed that clip. If you want to check out the full-length podcast episode, you can find that right over here. Also, make sure you visit my website over here where you'll find my supplements, the opportunity to book me privately one-on-one for coaching, and most importantly, my new School of Unplugging, which you'll find in the courses tab. Newer to the channel, hit subscribe.